Hey, what's up, Bulldog? So I want to do a quick video here. I just finished my workout and talk about training. I did a video already about the marathon, the Las Vegas marathon that I did. You can check that out here, and that video shows me running it. And I told you about how I had a goal of hitting a 4 hour, and I actually did a lot better with a 3 hour and 46 minute. But I want to talk a little bit about why I was able to hit that time on it and why it was actually like super easy to do the to do that run. I didn't really realize when I ran the first marathon last year, it was much harder. It was much more difficult. It was a grueling 26.2 miles, but this year it was simple. It was easy. I didn't feel basically any pain until the very end, when I was just pushing it at the very end, running the fastest mile of the marathon on the last mile. So why was that? What was the difference, right? The biggest difference, honestly, more than anything else, and this is going to sound pretty obvious and pretty silly, but it's a really important point to consider, is the training, is that I trained much more for this one than I did for the other one. I was much more prepared. Whereas when I ran the first marathon last year, what I did was I followed a training program that essentially would prepare you to be able to run a marathon, a beginner training program. And it got me far enough along fitness-wise to be able to make it 26.2 miles. But see, there's a big difference being able to make it 26.2 miles and being able to easily make it that distance at a decent speed, right? And so this year when I trained on a much more difficult training program. I trained on a advanced to intermediate training program that had a lot more miles, that had a lot more difficult runs, and it was a lot more effort, right? But look at the result that it achieved. It made it so that I was able to run basically a 50-minute PR. I was able to run the marathon 50 minutes faster. Now this was a flat course, the other one was hills, but still 50 minutes faster. And basically, while doing that, it was much easier and painless. So it's just an important principle. I was thinking about this, as I was thinking about how fun and easy this marathon was, and how the difference is really in the training. And like many times when you train for something, and this doesn't just apply on the fitness side, but when you train for something or prepare for something, if you do just enough to reach what you need, then that whole experience is painful, right? And it's, that quote, the more that you sweat in practice, the less that you bleed in battle, is very true, of course, but it's more than that, right? It's anything that you do. If you're trying to just achieve some goal and some objective, and you just do what's required to reach that goal, yeah, you might reach that goal, that's fine, but how painful will it be in that process? Yet if you're over prepared, if you do 2 or 3 times what's required, right? And coming into this race, I knew that I could easily run, a 9-minute mile at my easy running pace, right? With my almost resting pace, right? Almost what would be equivalent to like a walking pace for some people. But I could run a 9-minute mile and feel almost no cardiovascular taxing on my system. And I'd run so many 20 miles, and I'd even run a pre-26 mile run, so I knew that I could handle it, right? And so that was my goal pace, so I knew I was going to come in easy. So that's the key thing, again, like I said, it's just a matter of, if you've got a goal, if you're trying to do something, instead of doing the minimum to reach it, try to do enough so that when you do it, it will be easy. And that was really the goal for this race. And I told a lot of people when I was going into this race, as I said, they said, oh wow, you're gonna try and like run a 9-minute mile pace to hit under 4. And last time it took you 4 hours and 46 minutes. That's crazy. Like how that's gonna be hard. And my answer was always no. It's gonna be easy, because I can run a 9-minute mile pace for like 20-30 miles, no problem. My heart rate doesn't even go above 140. And that's all has to do with the training. So doing the amount of training, the right amount of training, to be over prepared is much better than under prepared, because then on race day, while everyone else was dying, around mile 20, I was just cruising by, going the fastest that I had gone the whole race up to that point. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button down below, and click the bell so you get the notifications when the new videos come out. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.